Lecture 5. International Organizations and Global Governance. A. Introduction: The Rise of Global Governance. In the contemporary international system, the complexity of global challenges has made unilateral state action increasingly insufficient. Issues such as climate change, financial instability, pandemics, and transnational security threats require coordinated responses beyond national borders. As a result, the concept of global governance has emerged as a framework for understanding how international cooperation is organized. In the absence of a world government, global governance refers to the collection of institutions, rules, norms, and processes that regulate international relations and address collective problems. Within this framework, international organizations IOs play a central role in facilitating cooperation, reducing conflict, and promoting stability. This lecture examines the role of the United Nations and other international organizations, explores the significance of international law and global norms, and analyzes the functions of key economic institutions such as the World Trade Organization WTO, the International Monetary Fund IMF, and the World Bank. B. The role of the United Nations and other international organizations. 1. The United Nations structure and functions. The United Nations UN, established in 1945 after World War II, is the most comprehensive international organization aimed at maintaining international peace and security, promoting human rights, and fostering international cooperation. The UN consists of several principal organs: the General Assembly, a deliberative body representing all member states; the Security Council, responsible for maintaining international peace and security; the Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, coordinates economic and social issues; the International Court of Justice, ICJ, settles legal disputes between states; the Secretariat administers the organization. Among these, the Security Council holds primary responsibility for peace and security. Its 5 permanent members, the United States, China, Russia, the United Kingdom, and France, possess veto power, which significantly influences global decision-making. 2. Peacekeeping and conflict resolution. One of the UN's most visible roles is peacekeeping. UN peacekeeping operations aim to stabilize conflict zones, protect civilians, and support post-conflict reconstruction. Peacekeeping missions typically involve monitoring ceasefires, disarming combatants, supporting elections, promoting rule of law. However, the effectiveness of UN peacekeeping is often constrained by political disagreements among major powers and limited resources. 3. Other international organizations. Beyond the UN, numerous international organizations contribute to global governance. NATO focuses on collective defense and security cooperation. WHO addresses global health issues. ASEAN and the European Union promote regional integration. These organizations complement the UN by addressing specific regional or functional issues. Together, they form a multi-layered governance structure. C. International law and global norms. 1. The nature of international law. International law consists of rules and principles that govern relations between states and other international actors. Unlike domestic law, international law lacks a centralized enforcement authority, relying instead on consent and cooperation. Sources of international law include treaties, formal agreements between states, customary international law, state practices accepted as law, general principles of law, judicial decisions, and scholarly writings. Despite its decentralized nature, international law plays a crucial role in maintaining order and predictability in international relations. 2. Compliance and enforcement. The effectiveness of international law depends on voluntary compliance. States comply with international law for several reasons: reputation and legitimacy, reciprocity and mutual benefit, fear of retaliation, internalization of norms. While enforcement mechanisms are limited, institutions such as international courts and arbitration panels help resolve disputes and reinforce legal norms. 2. Global norms and their evolution. Global norms are shared expectations about appropriate behavior in the international community. They shape state behavior even in the absence of formal enforcement. Examples of global norms include human rights, sovereignty and non-intervention, prohibition of genocide and war crimes. Norms evolve over time through processes such as socialization, persuasion, and institutionalization. For instance, the norm of humanitarian intervention has gained prominence in response to mass atrocities. D. The role of WTO, IMF, and the World Bank in global governance. 1. The World Trade Organization, WTO. The WTO is responsible for regulating international trade and ensuring that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. Its key functions include administering trade agreements, providing a forum for trade negotiations, settling trade disputes, monitoring national trade policies. The WTO operates on principles such as non-discrimination, most favored nation and national treatment and transparency. However, the WTO faces challenges, including deadlocks in trade negotiations, rising protectionism, disputes over digital trade and subsidies. 2. The International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF was established to promote global monetary stability and prevent financial crises. Its main functions are monitoring global economic trends surveillance, providing financial assistance to countries in crisis, offering policy advice and technical assistance. IMF programs often involve conditionality, requiring recipient countries to implement economic reforms. While these programs aim to stabilize economies, they are sometimes criticized for imposing austerity measures that may have social costs. 3. The World Bank. The World Bank focuses on long-term economic development and poverty reduction. Its key roles include providing loans and grants for development projects, supporting infrastructure, education, and health initiatives, promoting sustainable development. The World Bank plays a critical role in addressing global inequality and supporting developing countries. However, it also faces criticism regarding project effectiveness and environmental impact. 4. Comparative roles in global governance. Institution primary focus key function. WTO trade regulating global trade rules. IMF finance ensuring monetary stability. World Bank development reducing poverty and supporting growth. These institutions collectively form the backbone of the global economic governance system. E. Challenges and future of global governance. Global governance faces several major challenges. Power competition among major states. Institutional inefficiencies. Inequality between developed and developing countries. Emerging issues such as AI governance and climate change. In addition, the rise of non-state actors, including multinational corporations and technology companies, is reshaping governance structures. Future global governance is likely to be more networked and decentralized, more inclusive of non-state actors, more focused on sustainability and resilience. V. Conclusion. The importance of cooperation in an interdependent world. International organizations and global governance mechanisms play an essential role in managing global challenges and promoting cooperation. The United Nations provides a broad framework for peace and security, while international law and norms establish standards of behavior. Economic institutions such as the WTO, IMF, and World Bank ensure the functioning of the global economy. Despite their limitations, these institutions remain indispensable. In an increasingly interconnected world, strengthening global governance requires not only institutional reform, but also political will and shared commitment among states. Ultimately, global governance reflects the collective effort of humanity to address common problems and build a more stable, just, and sustainable international order.